Got married for the first time but ended up saying I do to a photograph. Relatives around her kept whispering judgmentally, but she held back her tears and went through with the ceremony. Back in those days, women had no say in choosing their partners. When Xiaomei was suddenly told she'd be marrying a stranger, she didn't even have time to process it. A week later, she thought she'd finally meet her husband, but instead, she married his photo. He was in the Navy and rarely came home. The family felt helpless about it, so she forced herself to go through a wedding with a picture. For 2 weeks, she spent every day alone. Then one day, word came, her husband was coming home. After all this time married, she was finally about to meet him. She couldn't sit still. She heard a man's footsteps outside. When he walked in, he was surprisingly straightforward. Both of them acted shy and awkward. Xiaomei had never even talked to a guy before. Nervously, she said she knew nothing about life at sea and hoped he'd tell her more. He replied that he didn't know much about life on land either, and asked her to share as well. Then suddenly, he got up and hurried out. At that time, wives were expected to serve their husbands, so she quickly followed. He went into another wing of the house. She searched around until she found him in one of the rooms. Turns out, he wanted that room to be their bridal suite. Blushing, she called him husband for the first time. Soon, he brought in cooking utensils himself, something that embarrassed Xiaomei, since that was supposed to be her job, not his. But this man was different. He told her it was okay, he didn't mind helping. When their hands accidentally touched, they both froze, flushed with shyness. Seeing her reaction, he worried she might have disliked him touching her. Xiaomei had asked relatives what her husband's favorite food was and wrote it down. That night, she decided to win him over with a good meal. She cooked for what felt like ages and nearly overcooked the fish. But with the first bite, he didn't complain. In fact, before Xiaomei could even start eating, he'd already finished his soup and rice and hinted for more. She rushed to serve him another bowl. Afraid he'd think she ate too slowly, she hurriedly stuffed big bites into her mouth. Ended up giving herself indigestion. Later, she told him she'd go prepare the bed. Hearing that, he grew restless. He'd never been with a woman before. This was their first night together. Xiaomei was nervous too. She didn't know what newlyweds were supposed to do on their first night. When she asked older women, they just told her to let the husband lead. But the truth was, he had no idea either. They were both incredibly shy. When she opened the door, he jumped like he'd been scared. Turned out Xiaomei had forgotten to set up the bed altogether. It was too late to ask the neighbors for one. He told her to sleep in the main room. He said he'd stay up and wait till morning. But she wouldn't let him stay alone. So she brought a mat over and stayed with him.